I'll make the clock tower clear my head.
Don't let him get away! I'm right behind you, scum!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bro College Gamers. I'm Brian, and this is Thief 4, or Thief 4, as many people refer to it as, a reboot/sequel to the original Thief trilogy, which came out between 1998 and 2004, with Thief the Dark Project, Thief the Metal Age, and Thief Deadly Shadows. And I just played all 4 games of the series in a row over the past few months, so let's talk about it. The first game, Thief the Dark Project, it was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of how it was more of fighting monsters than actually sneaking around and stealing from the rich. Plus, it had way too many spiders, and spiders freaked me out. Thief the Metal Age, I really enjoyed. I thought it was an amazing game. It was what I expected the first game to be like. It really made you feel like a thief, sneaking into places, stealing loot, but it kept that supernatural aspect that I enjoyed it from the first. Thief Deadly Shadows had a good story, but it introduced a hub world mechanic, and I hated walking around the hub world to go to each mission. It was just so cumbersome. However, Deadly Shadows was saved because it had an amazing level, robbing the cradle, which is one of the scariest missions I've played in any video game. So Deadly Shadows sort of gets a pass. So that brings us to Thief 4, 2014's reboot/sequel. And I say reboot/sequel because it's a reboot in the sense that this isn't the same Garrett or even the same city as the original Thief games. You don't have the same religions going around. You don't have necessarily the same cast of characters. However, I say sequel because there are tons of Easter eggs throughout the game that suggests that this is the same universe as the original Thief trilogy, but set hundreds of years later. Examples are documents that refer to the Master Sneak Thief, a clear allusion to the original Garrett, and how some of the buildings and organizations are obscurely referenced, or you visit them and they're actually way older than they were in the original Thief trilogy. But enough about that. Let's talk about Thief 4 as a game. How does it hold up? The answer is, there's some things that I really like, and there are some things that I really hated. So let's talk about the good first. I like the feel of Garrett. I like the way his body moves. You can see your feet, you can see your hands. It feels like a full body instead of a lot of first-person games where you just feel like a levitating corpse. You know, it's just your torso, and you're just kind of being pushed from one set to the other. No, Garrett feels like a person. He reaches over to grab loot. His body, will move to hide in the shadows or to shut candles down, off, whatever the proper terminology is, unlight candles. I also like the mini-games, or they make you feel like a thief. Lockpicking, the way you have to move your hands around a bookcase or a painting in order to find a switch to open up a secret room with loot in it. That's all really cool. This made you feel like a thief, which is great, and I loved it. I also liked how you could move. I like being able to look up, okay, I want to put a rope arrow there, climb up this way. It was great figuring out where to go, how to get there. And this brings us into some of my big issues with the game. First off, the story and characterization. It's all over the place. Garrett is kind of like a young, angry Batman in this one. He's not as much of a cynical wise-ass as the original Garrett was, and that's okay, but it just made so many sections of the game less interesting. The story is also weak. You could have focused on Garrett's relationship with his protégé, why Garrett's almost a thief, the weird Dark Knight Rises style class warfare elements they bring into it, the supernatural story and how that affects everyone in the city, but no, they couldn't figure out what thing to do, and what's worse is that elements that apparently were in the original story are referenced even though they don't happen. For example, at the end of the game, a character is angry at Garrett for betraying them. However, in the story as is, Garrett never betrays this character, so that was a little odd. Also, I really felt more like a kleptomaniac, just grabbing a bunch of random things instead of like the master thief going for the main elite objects, the main, the big draw, the big prize. Another problem was, I really didn't feel like I used a lot of my arrows, as in the original Thief games, you'd use a moss arrow to make things quieter while you walked around, a fire arrow, the water arrows, etc. I rarely, if ever, used an arrow other than a water arrow and a rope arrow, or a blunt arrow in this game. I'm going to die here soon because I didn't realize that I couldn't jump over this case, which is another problem, is that I feel that unless the developer said, you can go here, you can't do it. So when I'm being chased by these guys, I can't just hop over this box like I thought I'd be able to. No, instead, I have to awkwardly walk around it because they didn't say, you can hop around this. So overall, that's Thief. That's the game. Check it out on Steam. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I died.